everybody. Welcome to Make It Make Sense with Monique Pressley. Thanks so much for joining, and thank you for being part of this Make It Make Sense nation. We are growing, we are thriving, we are trying to keep a promise to you, which is that in the middle of all this noise and all this nonsense, we're going to make it make sense. Take the things that are confusing, the areas where you may need clarity, the areas where an expert opinion on a matter would help, or just some solid facts and data. We're giving it to you right here. If you are still joining me over on IG, hey there, IG family. I do miss you. I do. I miss our lives daily, but come on over to YouTube and engage with us over here, because then we can see your comments and we can talk to you. And if you're not yet subscribed to my YouTube channel, it's the Monique Pressley channel. Come on. The water is warm. Well, what's the news of the day? Breaking news. Shocker. According to the Wall Street Journal, aren't they having a week? Let's hear it for conservative news amidst the totalitarian regime takeover. The Justice Department, according to the Wall Street Journal, the Justice Department informed Trump that he is in the Epstein files multiple times. I think we've got a photo or something of that. Yep. The Justice Department has informed Trump that he is in the Epstein files multiple times. If we can go to the next slide. You know what? There we go. It says that when the Justice Department officials reviewed what Attorney General Pam Bondi called a truckload of documents related to Jeffrey Epstein earlier this year, they discovered that Donald Trump's name appeared multiple times, according to senior administration officials. They also told Trump that senior Justice Department officials didn't plan to release any more documents related to the investigation of the convicted sex offender because the material contained child pornography and victims' personal information, the officials said. That's according to Rupert Murdoch's Wall Street Journal, the same Wall Street Journal that just a few days ago reported that Donald Trump, some years back, had sent a lewd and crass drawing with his name scribbled in just ugly, crass places for one of Jeffrey Epstein's birthday celebrations. And then Trump announced that he was going to sue. And it seems like the Wall Street Journal said, well, hold my beer. And so that is the news of the day. Anybody shocked? Anybody? Isn't it obvious why this big freak out has been happening? Isn't it obvious why they have been going nuts? And no, Mallory, we are not shocked. This is exactly what we always thought it was. And there are just a few things because my promise to you all, especially coming off of break, was I'm really going to drill down to things that we need to know, that we need to be talking about, that we need to be discussing. And I would just as soon ignore knowing that Trump was involved with this sex trafficking pedophile of a criminal man, except for he is the president of the United States. I mean, our president, multiple accusations of sexual assault, findings in civil matters of culpability, liability for sexual assault. We've heard the kind of language that he used when he was running for office the first time, all the things he said. There's no need to repeat those things. We see just the manner in which he conducts himself and the way that he's lived his life. So this is not news in that way. You know the way that it is news, though? It's news because this is the perfect example of classic Trump MAGA abuse, is what I will say. Because the Trump machine, have been dragging these folks down the road for years. Epstein files, and saying that it was going to be the downfall of every liberal political figure and billionaire figure that they have been grooming them to hate. And so it became a battle cry. It became a reason to vote. It became something for them to look forward to, the transparency that would come from a Trump presidency, because everything would get found out. Then lo and behold, I wonder, did the man forget? Did he forget that it was highly likely that he was in the files? Because just the other week, he forgot. He was saying he was surprised that Jerome, what's his name, was appointed for Fed chair. And dude, you did it. Like, completely forgotten the happening of the thing. So I think it's realistic, seeing how much of his mind is elsewhere, not to return. I think that it is realistic to believe that maybe he's just forgotten. Put that comment back up again. Put that comment back up again. If there was any real dirt on Trump, Kamala, the one on my shirt, she would have released it. And what, her role as vice president of the United States? Was she in charge of releasing files? And released it for what reason? Why would she have released it? None of the other files that are coming out, and there are plenty about people in the GOP, things that they're doing pre-elections. No, some people actually take their oath of office seriously. Her name, it's Kamala, though. There's no hyphen. But I don't believe that that's true at all, nor do I believe it's necessarily the case that the president or the vice president would know about what was in the files, because other than this president, there has been a delineation. There have been lines of demarcation between what the Department of Justice is doing and what the executive branch is doing, which is the way that it's supposed to be, which is why I said on here and on Don's show last week that it was interesting to me that when the WSJ's first story came out about the birthday card that Trump tweets, or whatever they call those posts now, and says that he's going to direct Pam Bondi to go to the judge and request that parts of the grand jury testimony get released. Why? Has he seen the grand jury testimony? Does he know something about what's in the grand jury testimony that would make him think that it would be helpful for grand jury testimony to be released? Does he understand that it would have to be done by the court, and that would mean all kinds of other people's names who would have to get lawyers and would have to contest it and have to fight it? I mean, or was that just another story in order to throw us on another wild goose chase? But it's no surprise that his name's in the files. You can see that they were in each other's company frequently, and we don't know to what extent. We don't know that because he is in the files that there is something that is criminal in the files. We know that through the Epstein trial, multiple judges decided to keep that fact under wraps. And that's why I don't believe that Trump just found out when the Justice Department told him, because there would have had to probably have been motions where they were deciding which names could be released and which names would be necessary in order to prove the case against Epstein and the case against Maxwell. So, yeah, there's a lot that's unknown. There's a lot that we probably won't know. But what we know for sure is it's bad. We know it's bad because this freak out is at epic proportions now. Like, they dropped the MLK files. Nobody cared. I mean, and won't. I loved I wish we had it, where Dr. Bernice King posted a picture of her father, like, giving the side eye and said, "Now do Epstein files next." Because that's where it is. Like, Dr. King's legacy, we will make sure is secure, and there's nothing in the files, even though I did hear from one of my colleagues that it showed in the files that Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. had prepared documents asking for $2 trillion in reparations. And those of us who have studied that part of history and understand the movement, know that it wasn't until Dr. King started talking about economic freedom. They were fine, yep, give them the vote. They were fine, yep, let them work. They were fine, yep, and desegregate schools. But when he started talking about that money, no, it got him killed. Yep, got him killed. State-sanctioned violence. So, I see a question. How is the process, how the way the process is supposed to work? President and VP aren't supposed to have access. Right. So this is where we are, and I can say that it's bad. I know that it's bad, whatever it is, and that we may never know how bad it is. The interesting thing to me about it is the Wall Street Journal's reporting, because this is an example of a publication understanding that they've got the facts, they've got the witnesses, and it said in what was released that this was according to senior level officials. So that's Trump's White House being a leaky sieve, as always, and talking. It's interesting because when the epic meltdown divorce happened between Musk and Trump, one of the huge tweets that Elon Musk put up, and I didn't give it to my folks, but I think I have it somewhere here in my phone. One of the biggest ones that he put up was "Time to drop the really big bomb at real Donald Trump is in the Epstein files. That is the real reason they have not been made public. Have a nice day, DJT." And even though he later deleted it, at the time that he put it out, he said, "Mark this post for the future. The truth will come out." Well, you know what? Here we are. Here we are at the truth. And so, and of course, we know that it is the real reason, because we are not seeing. It was always going to be the case that there were victims who would be impacted by the release of this information. It was always going to be the case that there would be a lot of personal information that would have to be redacted. That was sensitive material because of the types of crimes that this man was accused of and convicted of. So Pam Bondi, who is just disgracing herself day after day, her saying that and telling Trump, this is the reason why we're not going to be able to do anything else about this. Everybody was like, wink, wink, get it. We shall go no further. And now he's trying to tell people to drop it. Well, his base doesn't want to drop it. So his base is eroding. And the rest of the country, due to the fact that he is utterly failing and not keeping any single promise that he made, the rest of the country is already disapproving. But this is a key for the base. And perhaps, at long last, the revealing of some truth where they will understand that their dear leader, their hero, their MAGA man with the little mind, does not mean to keep a single promise that he made. Not even the ones that wouldn't put a dime in their pocket, but would at least be vindication. And you're right, Amber. You're right. As we discussed yesterday, Speaker Johnson has called it quits, like sent everybody from the House of Representatives home early, ended a congressional session early with all of this work to do for the American people, like to try to pass a budget, to do all these things. And he has ended early because he didn't want to have to vote on releasing the Epstein files, and said that he wanted to leave the administration the room to do what they're already doing, except for they're not already doing it. They're not doing it. They're trying to do everything but do it. But anyway, they went home early, and I have this picture of the four of the senators, of Senator Warnock, Senator Booker, Senator also Brooks, and one other one, can't remember who the other one was, with Leader Jeffries. And Leader Jeffries had posted saying in the 50 years of the Congressional Black Caucus. This was the first week that the weekly meeting was on the Senate side because the House was shut down. Like the lights off, everybody go home. So they had to have their meeting on the Senate side, even though there's only, three and a half senators who were black. And then there's members and members and members on the House side. So that's a true mark in history and shows the extent that the GOP will go in order to protect their wannabe king and to protect themselves, because there's a fear culture that if you don't kowtow, if you don't bend the knee, that you're not going to have a job. You about to lose your job. So that's where we are. And the extreme measures continue. The dropping of the MLK files didn't work. And the saying I'm going to sue for the Wall Street Journal, that didn't seem to work. And all of the different claims that they are making about, I mean, they even call for put cane sugar Coke. Like, that's going to help. We're going to get Coke with cane sugar like the people in Europe have. That's what we're going to get. And so we're in a place now where they are so desperate that they're going back on old tropes. I can read them on the side. Devontae, just hold on for a second. We're going back on old tropes, and we're going to favorite people to try to get his base to have some meat around, because nothing else is working. Who's this current president's favorite president to talk about? Favorite black man to talk about? Lives rent-free in all the empty space that's in his head? Of course, the first black president of the United States, President Barack Obama. So why not, since we're in deep doo-doo, since everything is going wrong, let's just manufacture a treason and sedition charge against, hold on, I'm not ready for it yet, against the former president of the United States. Let's just make it so. So last week, they have Tulsi Gabbard come out and, like, hugely, to quote our current president, hugely distort the meaning of a report and take the GOP House version, subcommittee version of events that defies every other conclusion about Russia's interference, attempts to interfere in our elections, and all of the things that Russia did, that everybody, bipartisan, GOP, Democrats, independents, everybody knows that they did with respect to the 2016 election. And now what they want to say is that it was really President Obama, that they knew all along that Russia didn't interfere in the election in a way that changed the votes, and that they made it seem like they did. Except for that's not true. Because what was stated to us from the minute we learned of the findings of the investigation, the multiple investigations, is that there was no credible evidence to show that a single vote that was cast was not cast correctly or was changed. So I just want to get that out of the way and tell you the premise of everything that they're trying to say is a lie. But here we have the President of the United States in the Oval Office saying that a prior president has committed treason, that it's sedition, that he's a criminal, and wanting to arrest him. And so what happens because of that? You can go ahead and put it up. We have this former president who generally tries not to make statements, because the former presidents try to stay out of the fray, because we can only have one president at a time. So they generally try to stay out of the fray. They don't comment on what a current administration is doing, but had to depart from that. Obama's office. Trump administration's treason claims are a distraction. Well, that's true. A spokesperson for President Obama said that while the office does not normally dignify the constant nonsense and misinformation flowing out of this White House with a response, the Trump administration's new bizarre and ridiculous allegations warranted one. Let's see the next one. Nothing in the document issued last week undercuts the widely accepted conclusion that Russia worked to influence the 2016 presidential election, but did not successfully manipulate any votes. These findings were affirmed in a 2020 report by the bipartisan Senate Intelligence Committee, led by then Chairman Marco Rubio. Rodenbush wrote, who's President Obama's counsel, referring to Trump's Secretary of State. So when he was head of Senate Intelligence, Marco Rubio said this. And now he's Secretary of State for Trump, while Trump and the known asset, it's a mess over there. I'm not even going to say that it's not a mess over there. But his D&I director, known asset, like, is coming out saying one thing. Tulsi says this, Trump says that. And it's like figments coming out of the sky. Like they're just making it up as they go along. Why? I'm telling you. Look at the show from yesterday to get caught up on the reasons for that. But they're in failure. They are free-falling in failure across all levels, including with the base. And so this is what you get when that happens, because, you know, the only thing standing between this man and anything that looks like consequences for anything, even if it's just economic consequences, the only thing standing between him and that is this current grift of the presidency. Yep. So that's all I got for today. Thank you for coming on over here. If you normally are on IG, please subscribe to the channel. I wore my Kamala shirt, my homemade Kamala shirt today, because there's just some days where I feel like we need to be reminded that we too could have had nice things. And we still can, but, you know, dear United States, y'all wanted this. You got it. I won't disgrace Toyota, but for those of you all who remember that commercial, that's kind of where we are. We're in the you wanted it, you got it phase. And nothing about what is happening was unknown. As a matter of fact, everything was said. We were told that it would be like this. So please subscribe. Please share. Giving you content daily. Giving you the things that matter. Helping you to make them make sense. And Black by popular demand, from a long time ago, a phrase that's just been kind of stirring around in the culture since I said it on Roland Martin Filtered 1,000,000 years ago. And somebody, when I posted a video about it, said, "Ooh, I need a t-shirt. I'm gonna make a t-shirt with that on it." And I was like, "No, before I do." So I did. The Are You Pausing or Are You Finished t-shirts are back up in the store. I do local only, so I had stopped selling them for a while, and I was wearing them and not selling them, and somebody asked, so we have the black ones with white letters. We're about to have some white ones with black letters. We're going to have a sweatshirt soon, and then we're going to have some Make It Make Sense merch. So we'll be rolling some things out in the store, but I did a little promo on IG. We can play.
And what I'm saying, are you pausing or are you finished?
I'm pausing.
Okay. So in your pause, what I am saying is...
Safe to say I'm the biggest, the largest. Been stepping up since my mama stayed in them apartments. Regardless, my daddy told me keep the heat even when I'm in foreigns. I'm heartless, cause these niggas is hating on me just because I'm the biggest, the largest, the biggest, the largest. 30K on my riches for hard times. These niggas just mad cause they...
Are you pausing or are you finished?
And I mean, I hope this administration is finished. But as for us, the rest of us, let's just take a break. Yes. In our pause, We will gather ourselves. We will learn how to be in community. We will grow together. If you want to get the shirt, it's on my shop. It's in my Shopify store. I don't know if that's down at the bottom of the screen or not, but it's Monique-Pressley.myshopify.com. That's the store. Or in the link tree, my link tree on YouTube or on IG or on Facebook. You can click there and get to it there. It's Monique-Pressley.myshopify.com in order to get your shirt so we can be in community together. All right, everybody. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Please don't forget to hit the like button. Subscribe so the algo can be our friend. And we are having more options coming out. I think we've got Super Chat now. Not membership yet. Growing. But eventually that's the way we will figure things out. If you are in Super Chat, then you can get your content, get your comment or your question highlighted on the screen. But I always try to take as much time as I can. I want to engage with you for comments that you're making, whether we put them on the screen or not. Okay? Thank you for being with us today. I appreciate you. And I'll see you tomorrow. Until then, stay safe out there.